There was a time when self-sufficiency for the Chinese military meant making all its own weapons. But in recent years, it's meant survival. Now that China wants a professional army supplied with the latest high-tech equipment, imported if necessary, most of its former suppliers have lost their only customer. Those factories run by the state and the People's Liberation Army now find themselves with empty order books and new priorities.
The primary objective for the military enterprises is to feed themselves now that they have no more orders. How to feed factories with thousands or tens of thousands of workers? That's the most immediate goal.
With new orders to pursue profit, they're turning to the market, with some unusual results. Soldiers now feature as extras in television commercials. This one's for a health tonic. The PLA owns office blocks and five-star hotels. Operations haven't been limited to China. Among the familiar brand names surrounding Hong Kong's harbour, a PLA pharmaceutical company. And a few kilometres away sits the biggest bronze Buddha in the world, cast by a state aerospace business. Back in China, some former military factories are clearly thriving. That's a military license plate on that Rolls-Royce. But most are having a hard time turning their hand to consumer goods. All over China, military factories like this one in Xi'an are switching their production lines from missiles to motorbikes, from rockets to refrigerators. But for many of them, the civilian conversion process is a long, hard battle on unfamiliar territory. For most of its 30-year history, the Dongfang machinery factory has produced bomb and missile components. 4 years ago, it started making civilian products like these refrigerator compressors. Its director is eager to do more, but needs help.
I feel that our business is very capable and we can do a lot, but I'm sorry that we have so little capital. I like to say, we're very strong men, but we need some food to feed ourselves and live better so we can reap a rich harvest. All we lack is one tool: money.
A former engineer, Sung still enjoys showing off Dongfang's imported computerized machinery. He's quick to list the advantages that military factories have over their civilian counterparts: superior technology and equipment, and more engineers with better qualifications. But Sung still feels left behind.
I feel military factories have no good points. The companies that are now making money and doing well are all civilian, so I think we face a lot of competition from them.
Everyone seems to agree on military factories' big disadvantage.
The problem is their management is not so good, because in the past there was no need for military factories to calculate cost and profit for their products.
Dongfang is still learning. Questions about profitability are answered in terms of production capacity. Sung claims military items now account for only 30% of the factory's production. But it takes 83% of the workforce to make them. But Sung is full of ideas for new products, from cement blocks to auto parts. And Dongfang has started to remove from its balance sheet such non-productive items as its housing estates, school and hospital. But too much success might also bring problems.
We're beginning to see some people in the defense sector in China worrying that, well, if we push everything, if we convert everything, then how are we going to make the weapons that we're going to need? There have been concerns that they have been corrupted, that they've lost their fighting force.
Ultimately, the problems facing China's military factories are not so different from those facing its civilian ones.
In China, you can't just close down factories, fire workers, and leave them to the market like in America. Here you can't leave these problems for society to solve. You have to take care of it.
A pertinent reminder that, whether they make bombs or brake pads, Dongfang's 12,000 workers still show up for work every day. Robert Stern, CNBC Business News, Xi'an, China.